Record mode is started. Each and every session I will record you, sir, and after class I will send you, sir. So after this class completion also you can play back it. How many times you want, that many times you can play back this video. Right. First of all, I will ask you small question, sir. What do you mean by manual testing? Already you know manual testing. I'm asking simply, what do you mean by manual testing? What do you mean by
Yeah,
manual
testing an
testing?
application.
Hmm.
Testing an application, like checking the functionality whether it is meeting the requirements or not.
Okay.
Testing that functionality manually without using any tool. It's called manual testing.
Great, sir. There are two ways of testing. One is manual testing, other one is automation testing. There are two ways of testing. One is manual testing, other one is automation testing. Manual testing is nothing but this is also one of the type of testing in which all the phases of software testing life cycle like test planning, test development, test execution, result analysis, bug tracking and reporting are accomplished successfully with our efforts. Without tool support we are doing with our efforts, with human efforts we are doing. That's why that is called manual testing. Simply we can say manually we are doing. That's why that is called manual testing. That is mass definition. If you want class definition, there are two ways of testing. One is manual testing, other one is automation testing. Manual testing is nothing but manual testing is one of the type of testing in which all the phases of software testing life cycle like test planning, test development, test execution, result analysis, bug tracking and reporting are accomplished successfully with our efforts, without any tool support, with human efforts we are doing. That's why that is called manual testing. Already manual testing existed in the market. Why automation came into market? Already manual testing existed in the market. Why automation came into market? That means in manual testing we have some drawbacks. In manual testing we have some drawbacks. In manual testing we have some drawbacks. What are the drawbacks in manual testing? Guess it, sir. What are the
Time
drawbacks in manual
consuming
testing?
and time consuming and quality.
Great. First point to time consuming. Next.
Human errors.
Oh, that means, oh, okay, no accuracy.
Yeah.
Next. We have many drawbacks in manual testing, sir. Time consuming, no accuracy, more number of people required.
More resources.
Yes, more number of people required. Next, sir. Next, tiredness. Manually we are doing tiredness. We cannot repeat the task again and again. We cannot repeat the task again and again. And simultaneous actions not possible. Simultaneous actions not possible. Manual testing is a slowest process. There is nothing to learn newly. There is nothing to learn newly. It is a bore process. It is not a consistent process. We have many drawbacks. Not only these drawbacks, we have many more drawbacks. It is not a consistent process. But still, wherever you go, not only in India, wherever you go, still 80 to 90 percentage companies. Wherever you go, still 80 to 90 percentage companies. So still they are, wherever you go, still 80 to 90 percentage companies still they are depending upon manual process. Not only in India, wherever you go, still 80 to 90 percentage companies still they are depending upon manual process. Why they are depending upon manual process? Okay, we will discuss later. First, next, what do you mean by automation testing? What do you mean by automation testing, sir?
So the same manual testing, if you use the tool support,
Okay.
if any automation tool support, if we use for testing, then it is automation testing.
Yes. Automation also one of the type of testing in which all the drawbacks in manual testing are addressed properly and provide speed and accuracy to the existing testing process. Automation also one of the type of testing in which all the drawbacks in manual testing are addressed properly and it provides speed and accuracy to the existing testing process. It will give speed and accuracy to the manual process. That's why we can say automation testing. Automation also one of the type of testing in which all the drawbacks in manual testing are addressed properly and provide speed and accuracy to the existing testing process. Okay. Already I told you, wherever you go, 80 to 90% companies, 90% people, they are depending upon manual process. Why they are depending on manual process? That means in automation also we have some drawbacks. In automation also we have some drawbacks. What are the drawbacks in automation? Guess it, sir. Simple drawbacks. First drawback, professionals required. Professionals required. So if it is manual testing, we can give training within 1 week and we can take into project. We can give within 1 day and we can take into project. If it is automation, compulsory professionals required. If it is manual testing, we can give training within 1 week or 1 hour, even 1 hour also more than enough. Okay, we can give only 1 day training and we can take into project. But if it is automation testing, compulsory professionals required. And second point, tools are very expensive. Tools are very expensive. Tools are very expensive. Very expensive. Whenever you are comparing with manual testing, manual testing is a cheapest testing process. Manual is a cheapest testing process. So that's the reason tools are very expensive. If you want qtp license, we need to pay 3 to 5 lakh rupees. If you want only one qtp license, single user license, we need to pay 3 to 5 lakh rupees. So tools are very expensive. And the third drawback, very very important drawback, we can't automate. We can't automate all the areas, all the areas using tools also. We can't automate the all the areas using tools also. This is the main drawbacks. That is the reason most of the people, not only in India, wherever you go, 80 to 90% companies still they are depending upon manual process. This is true. Not only India, wherever you go, 80 to 90% people still they are depending upon manual process. And here you need to remember one note. Manual is nothing but it is a basic process. Manual is nothing but it is a basic process. Automation is nothing but it is a advanced process. Automation is nothing but it is a advanced process. If it is any project, any software company, compulsory we need to do manually. First of all, we need to do manually. After application getting stability, we can implement automation testing. Whenever you are facing the interview, also they may ask you like, when can you implement automation testing? You are saying manual is a basic process. Automation is an advanced process. You are saying when can you implement automation exactly? Whenever the application is stable condition, then only we can do automation testing. Manual testing we can do part wise, individually also we can do manual testing. Automation testing also we can do part wise or individually, but we can't get good result. Whenever the application is stable condition, then only we can do automation testing, then we can get good result. So we can say simply, whenever the application is stable condition, then only we can do automation testing. Okay, right. Here you need to remember only one more thing. Automation is not a replacement of manual testing. This is the continuation part of manual testing. Automation is not a replacement of manual testing. This is the continuation part of manual testing. If it is any project, compulsory we need to do manually. After that, if it is possible, we can implement automation testing. Any project compulsory we need to do manually only. If it is possible, we can implement automation testing. So automation is not a replacement of manual testing. This is the continuation part of manual testing. All right. Next, a automation tool is nothing but it is an assistant of test engineer. A automation tool is nothing but it is an assistant of test engineer. A automation tool is nothing but it is an assistant of test engineer. A automation tool is nothing but it is an assistant of test engineer. A automation tool is nothing but it is an assistant of test engineer. If you want to work with any automation tool or any your assistant, first of all, you should know five basic things. You should know five basic things. If you want to work with any automation tool or any your particular personal assistant, first of all, we should know five basic things. I have an assistant or I have one tool. I have one assistant that is Selenium. I have an assistant that is Selenium. I know Telugu, Selenium don't know Telugu. I know Hindi, Selenium don't know Hindi. I know English, Selenium don't know English. Selenium knows Java, comma Perl, comma Python, comma C Sharp, comma Ruby. Selenium knows Java, Perl, Python, C Sharp, Ruby. So first of all, if you want to work with your assistant or Selenium, first of all, we should learn any of the scripting language. Then only we can work with the Selenium. If you want to work with the Selenium or your assistant, first of all, we should know five basic things. First point, how to give the instructions. How to give the instructions. I have one assistant from Orissa. I know Telugu, he don't know Telugu. I know English, he don't know English. I know Hindi, he don't know Hindi. He knows only Oriya. First of all, I should learn Oriya. Then only I can give the instructions. So, without giving the instructions, he will not do anything. Simply he can sit. So, first of all, I need to give the instructions. And the second point, how to give the information. First of all, we should know how to give the information. And if it is automation tool, first of all, we should know how to keep the record mode. How to use it, recording mode. And how to playback it. How to playback and how to analyzing the results. If you know these things, you can work with any automation tool, not only QTP Selenium. If you want to work with any automation tool, first of all, we should know five basic things: how to give the instructions and how to give the information, how to use its recording facility, how to use its playback facility, how to analyzing the results. If you know these things, you can work with any automation tool. So, for example, my assistant is Selenium. I want to work with the Selenium. First of all, we should learn any of the scripting language. Why? Because first of all, we need to give the instructions. So then only tool will do some work. Otherwise, simply it will sit. Without giving the instructions, so Selenium will not do anything. First of all, we need to give the instructions and we need to give the information. Then only it will do work. Otherwise, it will not do any work. Simply it will sit. So if you want to work with Selenium, first of all, we should learn any of the scripting language. First, I will teach you Java. First of all, I will teach you Java. After only Java concept, core Java concept. Nowadays, become people also they are learning this course. It's very easy to learn. Not only learn the course after course completion also we can keep the fake and we can try for job. That much of facilities we have in the area of software testing and Selenium. So nowadays, become people also they are learning. That means they don't know anything. Still they are learning. They are getting jobs. They are earning lakhs of money in the software companies. It's very easy to learn. So it is only practice oriented. So become people means they don't know anything. They don't have any IT background. Still they are learning. So it's very easy. Not entire Java we will learn. Only core Java concept, basics of Java we will learn. 0.00.1 percentage Java only we will learn. Only core Java basic concepts only required if you want to learn Selenium. So it's very easy to learn. It's very easy without knowing anything. Nowadays, simply I can say this is the first class. Already record session already started. I'm saying this is the first class. Even fourth class kid also you can learn Selenium without knowing Java. Without knowing Java, already record mode started, sir. Once again, I'm saying even fourth class kid also you can learn Selenium without knowing Java, without knowing anything. Even fourth class kid means he don't know anything. Still, he can learn Selenium. He can learn Selenium. I'm saying he can learn Selenium without knowing Java also he can learn Selenium. Okay, it's very easy. Just practice required. Just practice required. I'm talking about Selenium, not Java, sir. I'm talking about Selenium. Without knowing Java, we can learn Selenium. Just even fourth class kid also you can learn Selenium. Middle of the course, once again I will repeat this sentence, and end of the course, end of the course, last class also I will repeat this word. Even fourth class kid also you can learn Selenium. Okay. Each and every session I will record you, sir, and I will send you. You can get my voice. This word end of the class also I will say you. Even fourth class kid also you can learn Selenium without knowing Java also. Okay, right. Next type of tools. Next type of tools. Next, type of tools. Pink. Type of tools. In market, we have number of tools, different types of tools available in the market. First one, functional tools. Functional tools means compulsory we need to perform some actions on the functionality, then only we can say that functionality is properly working or not. So the type of tools is called functional tools. In market, we have some different tools. Right now, WinRunner up to date. After that, they made RFT, Rational Functional Tool, IBM tool. Right now, none of the people are using RFT also. And after that, they made QTP and now Selenium. Nowadays, some companies they are giving, if you know the Selenium spelling, some companies they are giving jobs. That much of demand and only Selenium. So first of all, we should know what are the main differences between QTP and Selenium. Already you have nearly 10 years of experience. Already you learned and you uh, heard about QTP. What is the main difference between QTP and Selenium? We will discuss. Why most of the people nowadays they are choosing Selenium? What happened to QTP? Why most of the companies not encouraging QTP? So I will tell you what are the main differences between QTP and Selenium. QTP introduced by Mercury people, sir, in 2004. Sorry, 1994. Sorry, in 1994. And Selenium introduced by Jason Huggins. Jason Huggins in 2004, sir. QTP, we can work with normal window-based applications as well as web applications. Using QTP, we can work with normal window-based applications and web application. Selenium only for web application. Selenium only for web application. Selenium only for web application. In QTP, we have recording and playback facility. In QTP, we have recording and PB, playback facility. So, but Selenium WebDriver, mainly WebDriver, mainly WebDriver, mainly WebDriver, mainly WebDriver, we don't have. Mainly WebDriver, we don't have any recording facility. We have playback facility. We don't have recording facility. Mainly WebDriver, mainly WebDriver, mainly WebDriver. Recording. We don't have any recording facility. What is WebDriver? Just after 5 minutes you can get it. Right. Yes, QTP. It is a totally commercial version, commercial tool. It is a commercial tool. If you want QTP license, we need to pay nearly 3 to 5 lakh rupees. But Selenium is a open source tool. This is main advantage. Without spending any rupee, without paying any rupee, we can work with the Selenium very comfortably. If you have internet connection, you can download and you can work with the Selenium very comfortably. And Selenium, whenever you are comparing with QTP, Selenium is very user friendly. And using Selenium, we can perform unlimited testing. Using Selenium we can perform unlimited testing, and Selenium is very user friendly. And if you want to learn QTP, we should learn something database concepts as well as Unix commands, something we need to learn. But if you want to learn without knowing Java also, we can learn Selenium. Once again I'm saying Selenium, there is no need of Java. But why people learning Java, sir? Software companies asking Java, but you are saying Java not required. No, yes, Java required, only logic required, not Java required, logic. So that logic directly we can learn in Selenium also. So but whenever you are facing the interview, that time they will ask you half of the questions in Java, half of the questions in Selenium. Only logic purpose, only Selenium. Why we are using Java in Selenium? Only logic. Java is nothing but it is a logic, not it is not a scripting language. No need of scripting language here, only just we need to learn logic. Just we need to learn directly. Selenium also we can learn that logic directly. But a plus b whole square equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab, that is formula. Just where we found that one, leave it. Just we should know a square plus b square, a plus b whole square equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab. Directly we can use in Selenium without knowing that formula. Directly we can use in Selenium. Just for logic purpose we are learning Java, sir. In QTP, we can use only VB scripting language. Here we can use multi-scripting languages. We can use multi-scripting languages. In QTP, we can work with only IE browser very comfortably. IE browser very comfortably. We can work with multi browsers, but if it is IE, very comfortably we can work with IE browser. Here we can work with multi browsers. Not only IE, Google Chrome and Mozilla Firefox, Opera, whatever it is. Okay, we can work with multi browsers. So these are the main differences between QTP and Selenium. So wherever you go, nowadays most of the 99% of the company they are encouraging only Selenium. Why they are encouraging? It is a open source tool, and Selenium is very very user friendly. Using Selenium we can perform unlimited testing. There is no limitation. Without knowing anything, we can work with Selenium very comfortably. So that's the reason most of the people, most of the companies nowadays, they are encouraging, they are using only Selenium. Wherever you go, not only in the testing area, wherever you go, all the countries, they are using, they are encouraging Selenium. Most demandable tool in the world, that is Selenium. Just go and Google it once, type it, most demandable tool in the world, just you can get answer Selenium. So it is. Why Selenium? It is very easy to learn. Under course completion also, if you want to keep the experience, we can keep the experience, and after getting job also, we can work with very comfortably with the Selenium. That's the reason most of the people, most of the companies, they are using, encouraging, that is Selenium WebDriver. Selenium. Now, what is Selenium? What is Selenium? Now, what is Selenium? Yellow. Oh, no. Green. Blue. Right. Right. What is Selenium? What is Selenium? Selenium is nothing but it is a software. Selenium is nothing but it is a software which contains some Java programs. Selenium is nothing but it is a software which contains some Java programs. Selenium having four components. Selenium having four components. One is Selenium ID. One is Selenium ID, Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium Grid. Selenium having four components: Selenium ID, Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium Grid. Well, first of all, we will discuss about Selenium ID. ID means integrated development environment. ID means integrated development environment. ID means integrated development environment. Same. What is Selenium ID? Selenium ID is nothing but same Selenium definition. Selenium ID is nothing but it is a software which contains some set of programs, This set of programs we need to configure into one user interface. Selenium ID is nothing but it is a software which contains some set of programs. This set of programs we need to configure into one user interface. So why? Because Selenium ID is a set of programs. Directly we can't interact with the programs. Compulsory we need to have one user interface. In the place of user interface, we are using IDE only. So no need to install somewhere. So IDE is a user interface. IDE is a user interface. No need to install somewhere. Selenium ID advantages. Roughly we will discuss now, and in-depth manner we can discuss later. Selenium ID advantages. Main advantages is in Selenium ID we have recording and playback facility. Main advantage is we have recording and playback facility. We have recording and playback facility. We have recording and playback facility. That is the reason just 2 minutes back I said there is no recording facility in WebDriver. So in Selenium ID we have recording and playback facility. And execution will be super fast. Whenever you are comparing with any other tools, it is execution is super fast. These are the advantages. And disadvantages. Main advantages and main disadvantages I am saying, whenever you are learning with Selenium ID, that time I will list out all advantages and disadvantages. Main disadvantage, we can work with only Firefox browser. We can work with only Firefox browser, and we can perform very limited testing using Selenium ID. We can perform very limited testing. That's the reason none of the people, none of the companies, not encouraging Selenium ID nowadays. Selenium ID getting deprecated. None of the companies, none of the people not using Selenium ID nowadays. Selenium IDE is nothing but it is a software which contains some SDA programs. These SDA programs we need to configure or we need to install or we need to deploy into one user interface. In the place of user interface, we are using IDE. Selenium IDE advantages, we have recording and playback facility and the execution will be super fast. Disadvantages, we can work with only Firefox browser and we can perform very limited testing. We can perform very limited testing. That's the reason none of the people, none of the companies not encouraging Selenium IDE. I will show you, I will explain you Selenium IDE also. Okay, each and every component in Selenium I will show you. But nowadays none of the people not using Selenium IDE. Just for general knowledge, just for general knowledge purpose, I will show you all the components of Selenium. But none of the people not using Selenium IDE nowadays. Okay, all right. Next, Selenium RC. Next, Selenium RC. Next, Selenium RC. RC means remote control. Selenium RC is nothing but same definition. Same Selenium definition, Selenium ID definition, Selenium RC definition. Selenium RC is nothing but it is a software which contains some SDA programs, which contains some SDA programs. These SDA programs we need to configure, we need to install into one user interface. We need to configure or we need to install or we need to deploy into one user interface. In the place of user interface, we are using Eclipse. We are using Eclipse. Eclipse is nothing but it is a powerful editor to write the Java programs. If you want to write the Java programs, always we will use Eclipse only. Why? Because Eclipse is nothing but it is a powerful editor to write the Java programs. Okay. Same definition. Selenium RC is nothing but remote control. Selenium RC is nothing but it is a software which contains some SDA programs. These SDA programs we need to configure into one user interface. In the place of user interface, we are using Eclipse only. So whenever you want to work with Selenium RC, we need to start the server manually and we need to stop the server manually. We need to start the server manually and we need to stop the server manually. So that's the reason none of the people not using Selenium RC nowadays. Why? Because using Selenium RC also we can perform very limited testing. Okay, that's the reason none of the people not using Selenium RC also. I will show you Selenium RC also. Next, they made powerful tool that is Selenium WebDriver. They made powerful tool that is Selenium WebDriver. Next, Selenium WebDriver. We will main focus on this Selenium WebDriver. We can give main focus on this Selenium WebDriver. What is Selenium WebDriver? Same definition. Selenium WebDriver is nothing but it is a software which contains some SDA programs. Same definition which contains some SDA programs. These SDA programs we need to configure or we need to install into one user interface. We need to install into one user interface. In the place of user interface, we are using Eclipse only. So, sir, RC setup RC setup and WebDriver setups both same. Yes, both same, both same. Whenever you are comparing with the Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver are having some powerful setup programs. Okay, whenever you are comparing with the Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver are having some powerful setup programs. Using the Selenium WebDriver, we can perform unlimited testing, and Selenium WebDriver is very user friendly. Without knowing anything, we can work with the Selenium WebDriver. Selenium is nothing but it is Selenium WebDriver only. Okay, Selenium is nothing but it is Selenium WebDriver only. Using Selenium WebDriver, we can perform unlimited testing. So both RC and Selenium WebDriver both set up same. But whenever you are comparing with the Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver having some powerful setup programs. Using the Selenium WebDriver, we can perform unlimited testing. That is the reason most of the people, most of the companies nowadays they are encouraging, they are using only Selenium WebDriver. Okay, we will keep more main focus on only this Selenium WebDriver only. Next, Selenium Grid. Last one, last component, Selenium Grid. Selenium Grid. Selenium Grid is nothing but it is a software which contains some SDA programs. These SDA programs Using this set of programs, we can run the test parallelly on multiple missions. We can run the test parallelly on multiple missions. So if you run the test parallelly on multiple missions, what is the use? We can increase the performance of the execution. Not only single test, we can run the single test on the multiple systems or multiple tests in multiple systems. So we can increase the performance of the execution. That's the reason some of the companies they are using Selenium Grid also. Some of the companies only they are using Selenium Grid. Selenium ID, Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver purpose is functional testing. Selenium Grid is not functional testing. Some companies they are using for non-functional testing also. So this is Selenium introduction. Selenium is nothing but it is a software which contains some set of programs. Selenium having four components: Selenium ID, Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium Grid. This is Selenium introduction. Now you can ask me doubts, sir. If you have any doubt, you can ask me now. If you have any doubt, you can ask me now. Rambabu garu.